Hello, welcome to a special 11 o'clock music-related Warp Zone starring a bunch of people you've never seen on the Warp Zone except for me. I'm Sean Newgent.
I'm James Parisi.
And I'm José Zozaya. And for me to start off by saying, Sean, I'm very happy to be here. It's sort of at the end of my day, but just music, puts you in a good mood, even if it's the end of the work shift. So I'm excited to be here to talk to you guys.
Even bad music can put you in a good mood.
It's music,
Sometimes.
Man. It's music. It makes you feel something.
It does. And today we're going to talk about 3 records that each of us like. I don't know that there's a lot of overlap. There might be some overlap here. It's from me and Jose. But we're just going to round table. Everyone's going to talk about their records. We'll kind of talk to each other about them as considerate and nice as possible. Maybe.
Are we laying out? So we're laying out the ground rules, Sean, where it's just like,
yeah.
I will ask each of you questions because thankfully I had time to listen to all of our stuff. What stands out and what maybe I didn't quite get. So hopefully we'll get to that. So. Yeah,
for sure. And we're actually gonna start, Jose. I'm gonna let you start.
Okay.
With one of yours, and then we'll just, like I said, we'll round table talk about each of these and what we liked, what we didn't. And Jose, you can start us off.
Okay, I'm ready for you. Let's see what we are gonna start off with. I believe we're queuing the video up on the Sean. Or
do you just say which one you want to start with, and we'll make it happen?
We'll make it work. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, full disclosure, I wasn't thinking about this at the very beginning when I told you guys which 3 records, which albums I was going to pick. Two were made in 1983. One was made in 1982.
Wow.
So not a lot of variety in that sense. So I don't know where my head space is at. That it's just a very 80s centric sort of list for folks to think about or check out. If you haven't already heard these records, I'm going to start with one from one of my favorite bands. Sean could probably guess which one I'm going to start with. But this record might be the Police's strongest one. And it's ironic given that the process making this album was not smooth at all. Like there's a whole backstory to how they made this album that is not pretty, and yet it's probably like their most experimental one leading up to that point. If you guys know anything about the Police, a lot of influence to start off. That's ska, reggae inspiration. And then this stuff probably leads into a lot more, that 80s sound, which is synth heavy. So you'll notice like a lot of it for the records I'm going to talk about are very layered with synth fills. I hope you guys pick up on a theme on my albums I'm talking about today, where you might argue which half is the strongest. This album, probably like the other ones I'm going to talk about, the second half ends up being stronger than the first.
I agree.
And I don't know if I'd prefer that over just you start strong and you finish weak in an album. But I'm happy this isn't the case. Of course, like you got your hits like Every Breath You Take, King of Pain. That second half. I will go ahead and say some of the first half tracks could be a little stronger, but I'll leave it at that. I'll open the floor to you guys. If you've heard this record, what you think?
James, you go ahead because I'm big on this record. So,
all right. So I have many notes on this, and I don't know how detailed you guys want, but I have a lot to say about it.
Give me the most important hits, James, because I might agree with some of them.
So I'm going to give you the 3 songs that I liked significantly more than the others in because this isn't generally my like favorite style of music or like genre or anything, but I do like, you have something like probably the top album from the Police, if not certainly. I don't know if it's their number 1 seller ever, but it's.
It might be, because for Police fans, you might argue between Ghosts in the Machine and Synchronicity were their 2 strongest ones. It's just that Ghost was maybe not as experimental in the sense that a lot of those songs kind of all sounded the same. Like it was all in the same genre versus Synchronicity. Sean might attest to this. It's like they took a couple swings. Maybe some of them missed. At least they tried, you know?
Yeah. And also, I mean, to your point earlier, Jose, you have Every Breath You Take, King of Pain, and Wrapped Around Your Finger. Those three songs, one after the other. I mean, that's just some of the best.
Yeah.
That's the trio of 80s pop you're ever going to get.
And so the song that those three were like the three that I knew. I'm not someone who's like been big on the Police, so I hadn't heard any of the rest of them. It was just those three. Slightly unfortunate. I didn't really like Synchronicity 1 or 2 in the album, which was a little unfortunate because it was the namesake, but you know, that's all right when you have songs like Every Breath You Take. But Murder by Numbers, the last song in the whole album, was actually my favorite, even over Every Breath You Take. I don't know why, but I loved it so much.
Can you tell me, James, tell me what you thought, James, where like the reason I appreciate that the last track there, the way the time signature starts, some people might think it's on a certain, you know, beat, and then when they start playing all the other instruments in, it just comes in at a completely different count, you think, than it would, you know, which is almost like some sort of jazz influence there. It's like I don't know if you picked up on that, where it's like you thought you were going to keep keeping the beat at the beginning of the song, and then it gets into the rest of it, and then it's like, oh, they threw me for a loop, like coming into the rest of the melody.
Yeah.
So that's like, I appreciate that. So awesome, guys.
Yeah. And for me,
I for sure.
I was gonna say Synchronicity 2 is my favorite song on that album, but we talked before this about Mother, which is a. It seems like you guys don't appreciate that song. I really love that song.
I love Stuart Copeland. I don't know if he was going for something else specific in that song. I told you, Sean, before we came on, for someone, if this was the first time James was hearing the whole album, they might think this shouldn't belong here. Like it wouldn't belong here. And it's like, how the heck did this end up on an album release?
That is what I think. Yeah.
You know, but I mean, Copeland had, you know, he had influence. He you know, you have to keep the back rhythm. I'd argue he's one of the most underrated drummers in pop music and rock. You know, that doesn't mean he's a hit maker like Sting. I don't think that's a controversial take. So
yeah. So we're gonna keep this moving because we have so many to talk about. And James, you are our next leader of the conversation.
You absolutely know we have to talk about Hamilton first.
Okay.
You know we have to. So Hamilton, when we originally were conceiving this, we were going to do top 10 albums. That was my just straight up number one of all time. I love it so much. The other two albums that I have aren't necessarily my absolute favorites of all time, but that is absolutely number one. I think just the fact that it's able to tell a story, and I hadn't seen, I mean, considering the play was on Broadway only, like I didn't have the ability to see it. I assume most people who knew about it when it was becoming a cultural sensation weren't able to actually see it for a long, like until it came out on Disney Plus years later. Mm-hmm. So my only experience with it was, for me, my freshman year of college. It just comes out. I hear a couple people talking about it. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll listen to it. And from the first song, I was completely hooked. And it just managed to tell me a story that I had never heard before. A truer than you'd think story, but while, you know, taking liberties with big sections of it. And obviously no one was rapping through all of this, but you know, maybe they were. We weren't in the room where it happens. If you've seen Hamilton, you know that reference. But but I mean, it's just so incredible, the emotional story. Like it's very rare that I'm listening to an album and I'm just like crying along to it, because I'm not the most like music can get me person, but man, it told such a tragic story of people who have suffered so much. And so, yeah, it from just the cabinet battles being so just engaging and fun, and you're learning about, what for the most part happened in a cabinet battle, which no one's probably ever cared about in history. And it made me interested and want to learn more about it. And after I listened to all of the Hamilton soundtrack, I spent days just looking up on like everything about every person that was featured in it on Wikipedia and every history page I could find. And I just wanted to know more. And I think just the fact that it was able to make me want to learn was just so impressive.
For me, it's impressive that Lin-Manuel Miranda was able to take this boring book by Ron Chernow, just this boring biography.
It was a tome. You know it was a tome, Sean. It's just so much to try and condense.
And he just took it and he turned it into not only a rap album or a rap musical. I mean, it's a musical, but it's a rap musical, which is something completely different.
Right.
Like he reinvented the musical. Like this is probably the most well-known musical of all time, Broadway show of all time.
I would agree with that. I would attest to that. Now, I wonder, I'd love for you guys to touch on this too, where in which order it might have enhanced your appreciation for the album. I saw the play, I saw the musical before I then sat down to go through each of the tracks in the album. I still found myself going back to one of because I enjoyed Jefferson's character. To be honest, I preferred him as a character or Aaron Burr more than Hamilton. Not to say that his songs were not good. James, I think, would agree too. They were really awesome songs. To me, to stand, I was like, what did I miss? Like I had a lot of fun listening to that song. But then these emotional highs and lows, the Dear Theodosia, Burr somehow ends up striking more of an emotional chord with me. And it's just like the fact that Lin-Manuel, maybe he made me care a lot more of who's supposed to be the villain in this story, when you could argue he's neither here nor there as a real villain. But that definitely stood out to me. So my appreciation for the work of art in itself, listening to the album then separately, I think enhanced that so much more for me. It was just like I can just listen to this, and somehow just listening to the music, it still is able to bring me back to that headspace. So I appreciated that.
And I've never actually seen them. I've only ever heard the album, and it's you get your own picture in your head because it's just such a well written. You don't need to have seen the play. You can put everything into your own head. It's like a picture show. It's like reading a really well written book.
Yeah. And on Aaron Burr, I think the most interesting thing to me about that, focusing so much on kind of like the loser of the story the whole way, too, in addition to the quote unquote hero, is most of the time when you're watching a movie or seeing a story be unfold, you're following someone who they are able to pull through and succeed and whatever in the end, but you're seeing, and of course, spoilers to anyone who doesn't know history, but Alexander Hamilton dies. Yeah, but but in general, over the course of it, things are just a little, I don't know if you just want to say unfortunate or just he has a rough time of things, but also you see the person that a lot of times he's succeeding over, and instead of just a lot of movies, it's there's a competition between two people, one person gets it, you forget about the other. You actually get to see the struggle of the person who's why not me? What's wrong with me? What am I doing? I'm the person who Alexander Hamilton's loud and he obnoxious and irritating everybody, and somehow he's still the one. I'm playing everything perfectly to what I think is the correct way, and just why isn't this happening? And it's just a guy that you can just see, you can feel I'm frustrated for him. And you know that, you know the reasons why, and you can see it. And so it really humanizes a character that I think most people probably that aren't like history buffs are just like, oh yeah, that's the guy who shot someone else. But you get to see, like, not that it's justified, but you see like what led to it. And so that's just so interesting.
Yeah. We're going to keep moving forward because we're really getting into the conversations here. That's good. I guess I'll give my pick, one of my picks, which I'm not sure, James, I'm not sure how you're going to feel about this one. I'm excited to hear Station to Station by David Bowie, 1976. So David Bowie, it's so hard to pick a favorite record from him. All of his stuff, for the most part, to me, is fantastic. Ziggy Stardust came out in 72. That's the one that everyone knows. That's probably his best record, but Station to Station to me is more interesting. After Ziggy and Aladdin Sane, he ends up in America and he makes Young Americans because he loves the music of Black America. He loves funk. He loves R&B. Young Americans is the first record where Luther Vandross shows up as a backing vocal. But the problem was then Bowie ends up in LA and he ends up in the drug scene. And Station to Station was written when Bowie was on a diet of cocaine, milk, and peppers. That's all he ate for like a year. He was reading a lot of Aleister Crowley. He went on TV and said that Hitler was the first rock star. He was not in a good place. And this record kind of shows it. I think the opening track, the title track, Station to Station, kind of shows that mental state where he's at. It's really messy. And it's this transition from that kind of funk and R&B inspired music of Young Americans into what would later be the Berlin trilogy, which has Heroes, Low. It's just an interesting album from an interesting point in someone's life. And I think Station to Station is definitely the best song on the record. I don't know what you two think, but just 3 minutes of slow build up. Then he hits the vocals, and it's kind of depressing. But then it turns into a funk song out of nowhere. It's very strange. The most well known song on here is probably Golden Years, which he ended up playing on, I think, Soul Train, which I don't get because that is not a dancing song. But I'll open it up. I could talk about this forever, but what were your thoughts?
Sure. My initial impression, really quick, Sean, was I think I told you, like, I was kind of restless when this album started. At first, I noticed 6 songs, but the album is, it's a full-length album if you measure it against, what an average length should be in a record.
Mm-hmm.
The beginning, it's just like maybe he wasn't in a great mental state, but somehow he was trying to make this metaphor connection to, like, you're waiting at a metaphorical station for the train to get there, or whatever it is going to pick you up. And I'm like, when is it going to get here? So, it's sort of like he teased me, like he teases you waiting to get into the actual meat of the album, of the record. Then, the second part of Station to Station is what I'd call a much more in line with Bowie's, affinity for funk.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I liked Word on a Wing. If I wasn't going to go with Golden Years, I will say TVC 15. Maybe it didn't strike a chord with me like it should have. So it might speak to your, the research that was the headspace he was in. Because even Wild as the Wind, somehow I found myself sort of getting more into that one. But definitely not the David Bowie I've been used to. If you're listening to the guy who's saying Changes or Major Tom, if that's your introduction into an artist like that, it's like, this is not that David Bowie. So at the very least, like, it becomes an education in a lot of artists where it's like, you never would have thought to listen to one of those in-between records that you didn't think was one of their master hits or their all-time smash hits. So at the very least, I appreciated it for that, saying it's like, okay, this is another side of David Bowie that, like you said, maybe offers a glimpse into where he was emotionally at that point in his life. So, James, I'll leave it to you.
Well, along with the changes in Major Tom, David Bowie, that's all I had listened to ever from
Have
David
we
Bowie.
lost James? There we
I
go.
see him. I see him.
You got me?
I hear you.
Okay.
We have you.
And man, the more popular David Bowie stuff was all I had heard. So coming into this, I thought I knew what to expect. I was very wrong. Was not anticipating this at all. And David Bowie, as you said, wasn't in the greatest place making this. I wasn't in the greatest place listening to it. Because man, the songs, can someone tell David Bowie that you can start a song at the start of the song? Because man, I apologize, but the amount of time that was spent where I'm just sitting here being like, when does it start? What's going on? Can I move to the next song? What is this? I was not gelling with it at all. Sorry, Sean. sorry to hate, but I didn't feel
Sean
it.
will
I
not
just
stand
didn't
for
feel
this.
it. It took
Sean is not
so
going to stand for this. I see.
No, and it's not necessarily that. I understand that. It's just it's a very prog rock. It's very proggy, and if like you guys said, if you're only familiar with Space Oddity, Ziggy, maybe some of that era kind of stuff, and then his like 80s stuff, Let's Dance, that sort of stuff, that in between, and there was a point a couple years ago where I just went through all of his discography, and I wasn't necessarily I didn't know about this era too much. Everyone knows Heroes. That's probably one of his most famous songs. But this era with Station to Station, I mean, Young Americans, like I said, was like his funk phase. Station to Station was his drug phase. And then you have the Berlin trilogy where he went to Berlin and he was with Brian Eno. And I think Tony Visconti was there too for part of it. And he just made this trilogy of music where he was like getting off drugs. And it's some of the weirdest music that he ever did. You start to realize that David Bowie is more than just a glam rocker. He was very experimental. He was all over it. And this album, I think, to me, is kind of one of those where you hear it and you realize just how wide his music breadth is.
Oh, yeah.
Many things you could call David Bowie. Narrow genre is not.
He's a chameleon, and that's why I think I like him so much. Is every album offers something different. He's done blues, he's done rock, he's done 80s pop, he's done it all, and this record to me is just special. I don't know, I don't specifically know why, but that Station to Station song for me, the slow build up works. I anticipate it. I love that song so much. TVC 15 I think is kind of a bop too, but it's kind of like a car jam. It's not a really well written song necessarily, but it's kind of bop. Anyway, Jose, we'll move it along because we're spending a lot of time here on all these albums.
No, we get into deep conversations. That's what music does. So
that's what it does. Yeah. So what is your next?
So
choice?
I'm for the sake of time, I'm gonna go with the one that's not the greatest selling album of all time. If we get to that point, I'll mention it. Or if it isn't the best, one of the best at this point. The backstory here, guys, is I don't know how much of an influence. I think it's the case in life if you have parents who share that love of their music with you. In this case, with Al Jarreau's album, the self-named Jarreau, this was my dad's introduction for me to kind of understand a lot of his jazz influences, how that sort of informed all the music he would listen to and all the CDs, records he'd have at home. It starts so strong out of the gate with Morning. Sean, you have a particular place in your heart for this one, as do I. Boogie Down, it's a complete change in pace where it's just like, this is the jazz, the freneticism going into these these horns, these big band sounds, was just like, this is going back into the history of like, you know, maybe not the golden age or the heyday of jazz, but somehow horns add an entirely different dimension to this kind of music. You could then go into the rest of the songs, guys, where I might argue it's, you know, it goes into a lot of ballads, very free playing Rhodes synths kind of stuff. So you can get a sense of where I'm going with like what helps fill out an album's sound. My take on this album, as I was listening to it again, let me know what you think. I swear somehow this influence of like 80s R&B and this kind of, you know, sometimes you can get into that jazz influence, key changes, things like that. I swear this was as close to yacht rock as Al Jarreau ever got in that sound with jazz. Somehow it's like 80s jazz somehow overlaps with this rock sound that took over like pop radio. And I'm just like, somehow, like maybe, you know, it might come off as somehow that makes it go into the mainstream a little more. But there's something emotionally about it is just so like, you know, it can go very blues, very into love songs. It can take you to like these weird, you know, like uplifting kind of places. So I just, you know, going back to this record, it puts me in a very nice, like sort of introspective headspace for sure. So that was my big takeaway listening to it again.
Yeah. So I really liked it. And I feel like we've all listened to albums where the person's like seemingly trying to find their genre and it just like doesn't work. And they're just kind of like flipping between all these different things, trying a bunch of new things, and none of it hits. And somehow Jarreau managed to hit all of them and do everything well. And I don't know how that's even humanly possible, but we can see it right here and we listen to it.
I think it happens, James. I think it happens when you have the man's bread and butter was jazz, like in his history growing up and learning to sing in choirs in church. I love him for his scatting, where it's just like somehow at his core, he's a jazz guy. And yet like he dabbled in all those different things. If they all struck a chord with you listening to the songs, it's like, how did he get there? It's like he somehow brings the right tone, the right energy to all these different sounds. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. So.
I mean, we see, especially like nowadays with like everybody in any different genre will like try and infuse pop, or they'll be like, oh, I'm going to try and do something retro, and we'll infuse some like rock to it or alternative or whatever. And everyone's trying to do it. And that's basically what Jarreau did with like R&B and funk and like rock and like all these different genres. And I would notice it every time. I'm like, oh yeah, this is very different. Like this is the last song. You wouldn't even be able to tell it's in the same album, but I like both. I liked all of it. And I don't know how that works, but it was amazing.
I have a particular place in my heart for this type of music. And I was wondering what the background was, Jose, because we're similar age. We both grew up in Florida. I listened to a lot of this music on the radio because for some reason, jazz stations, just growing up, that was what I listened to. So like Al Jarreau, Quincy Jones, like this kind of music really hits me. And Morning, to me, like I heard it growing up all the time on the radio, and it's just like the best feel good, like I'm ready to get out of bed. It's so cheesy, but it's just Sean? It's so positive. And I don't know. This music I don't feel like it exists anymore. It comes from this just like really wonderful time where jazz music was taking off again, at least like smooth jazz wise. You know, you had Spyro Gyra and all that. And this kind of just jazzy, feel good, like you described it as yacht rock, which I never really thought of it like that, but it kind of sort of is in a way, because like my dad is the same way. He loved this stuff, but he also listened to Dire Straits and all that kind of stuff.
I might give Al a little more credit for that, Sean, in the sense that I somehow, because I think it still was a record in '83, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. It's in the first part of the decade. Like I'd be willing to bet the guys like we're talking the yacht kind of stuff, like that sound that George Michael, Wham, like leaning into that in Careless Whisper, or Christopher Cross, something like that. It's like, I'm willing to bet Giroux's the one who took, went out on a limb with this sound. Because it's not by any means traditional jazz. Like, this isn't Duke Ellington. This isn't Miles Davis. And somehow, like, you still lean into these territories. But look at where he might have he blazed a trail for those guys, where it's like, this is somehow like quintessential 80s, ambient music, layering in on Miami Vice, moonlighting, like with that kind of track. It's just like somehow Al from jazz found his lane into this rock, like so definitive of the 80s. I don't know if it was intended.
Yeah, and I think it was a little earlier. I want to say Christopher Cross was late 70s.
So maybe there was some overlap there.
Jerry Rafferty, Baker Street, the sax on that. And it really, you're right, it translated because 80s pop had so much brass section going on. And going back to Bowie, like Bowie brought back brass for his pop albums. Like jazz really was a huge influence here. And this is another one of those like kind of bridge records where you can see like where the times are going, and it's just such a great record. His voice is gorgeous, just such a wonderful record. James, what's your favorite song on there?
Oh, it's got to be Morning. It has to be.
Okay.
Is it too repetitive not to pick that one, guys? It's just sort of like it kicks off the album on such a great
note.
So.
When he goes through the chimes just at the very beginning, you're just like, I feel it. Okay, I think I'll do one more because actually no, wait. I'm stealing James's thunder. James, we're just gonna do one more each. We're going heavy today.
Good. All right. Well, you guys get to escape talking about Kanye, fortunately, because we have to talk about the Silver Scream.
So we'll save Kanye for another day, but go to Silver Scream.
We can save Kanye for another day. So the Silver Scream by Ice Nine Kills, just a couple years old. And I don't know if you guys can tell now with me being interested in this, that I like storytelling, and every single song in this album tells the story of a different horror movie through a song. And there's 0 songs I don't adore, and I don't listen to metal music ever, never did in my entire life. But this was introduced to me, and I was like, this is amazing. Like it resonated with me in a way that I did not expect to, because it's not my like genre of music I'm most used to listening to. But like, Thank God It's Friday, A Grave Mistake, Stabbing in the Dark, It Is the End, like all of those songs, whether I've seen the movie or not, which I have because I love horror movies, but even some of the songs for movies that I hadn't seen, they're all, you can get a story from them. And when you kind of know what's going on, and you're like, it's engaging. And if you have watched the movie, then it's such a fun new way to experience. Like once you see a movie, you can see a movie only so many times. It doesn't change. It is what it is. But being able to see the story of the movie that you love so much, like The Crow, I love so much. And Grave Mistake tells the story of The Crow in such a unique, different way. And so it feels like you're watching the movie again for the first time, because you're experiencing this album and the song in such a new format. It's so interesting to me.
Before I forget, James, I was going to say, you mentioned Grave Mistakes. I will, up front, I will say, maybe like, as you alluded to, this isn't the genre of music I listen to all the time. Grave Mistake, I enjoyed it. Like just going into it, where it's just like, I guess that one stood out more than the others, but for the sake of like creativity, and the fact that like they keep a cohesive theme with their horror movies, I was like, this is fun. Like it's fun. It's it makes a statement. Where it's just like I feel like sometimes the hard knock, this kind of rock, metal veering into a lot of scream stuff, is that there's no skill to it. There's no method or rhyme or reason. It's like, no, the guys, they're picking their spots. Like the vocals are picking their spots. And what better genre to, lean into a story of a horror movie than this? So I think, they took advantage of what I thought actually it's a pretty good marriage of art, like this kind of rock and that kind of visual medium where it's just like, maybe you hadn't seen the movie before. I think the songs painted a pretty vivid picture of what the heck was going on. So if nothing else than for that, I never would have thought of Ice Nine Kills, and this was fun. It was a fun listen to. Maybe not something I play in the car every day, but it would certainly get me in the mood for a lot of different things that tie into I don't know that horror aesthetic, I guess. So yeah.
I have a harsher critiques on it, but I also agree on the vocals. I like the vocals. It sounds very like Breaking Benjamin to me for some of it, his vocals, but I also appreciate that he can go from those like melodic vocals to the, I don't know what you would call screamo, I guess, or heavier vocals. It's not screamo. It's more. It's more
for
heavy.
Sure not screamo, but I
get
what you're
guttural.
saying.
It's definitely more guttural.
Yeah, it's more guttural. It reminds me of Between the Buried and Me, where he's able. Their vocalist, he does that where it's melodic, but then he'll go into just screaming his heart out. I like that. I like the production on it. I like Thank God It's Friday. I think that's my favorite song on the record. I like the production. I think it's a lot of fun. It comes off kind of cheesy sometimes, which is part of the fun too. My favorite song from them is Assault and Batteries, which isn't on this record. It's on the newest one. And that's probably like the cheesiest song they've done that I've listened to, but I love it.
And I also not on this album, but I actually can't remember what the song's called, but the song that's based off of American Psycho is so good. And it might be called American Psycho. I don't think it's called American Psycho. I don't know what it's called, but either way, yeah, it's incredible. And every single time I listen to it, I'm just amazed that they're able to really give you the gist of the story. And like, yeah, a lot of it's cheesy and when I went to a concert of Ice Nine Kills and Motionless in White and a couple of other metal bands, which I never saw myself doing a couple of years ago, but here I am now going to these. And I didn't anticipate so many people saying the same thing, like at a metal concert, so many people saying the same thing you were saying, where it's like, oh, it's too cheesy. It's not serious. Like I want like almost like not that you want a higher art form out of it, but it's just like, oh, this is the lowest form, I guess, of like music is what some people were saying at the concert. And I just think that like not everything, there's albums that are so like transcendent and different and tell like stories in their own way, and the way that this just is a different way to experience things that probably most people already love. I understand the criticism of it, but it's so unique. Like how many times are you going to get the story? And they have other albums where it's like horror, or I guess whatever you'd call horror books. And they have other ones based off of games and TV shows and all these different things. And it's just like, for people who already love that thing, it's such a cool way to experience it in a different form.
Yeah, and to that point, I wrote in my notes that Ice Nine Kills is like Blind Guardian, but through a Hot Topic filter. And Blind Guardian, I mean, if you listen to Blind Guardian, you'd probably cringe at it because it's D&D metal, but it's about like Lord of the Rings and Dune and like sci-fi books, and they do 10-minute like with orchestras and everything, heavy metal songs about books and stuff. So I appreciate Ice Nine Kills doing that because I'm a huge Blind Guardian fan. I like that. it borders that line of being cheesy, but at the same time, you're taking something that this band obviously loves and the fans obviously love, and you're giving it something new. You're giving it a little twist that everyone can enjoy.
Should we get to your last one, or are we running out of time?
We'll knock this out. Which one should I go for?
Sean deserves time to pick dealer's choice, man. Whichever one you really want.
I'll go Talking Heads. I had Commodus coming on here. We won't talk about that because that one's just that's a rough album that I really love. That I'm sure you two were like, eh. But let's talk Talking Heads, because Talking Heads, I think, there's so much to talk about here. This is a concert album. Talking Heads stopped making sense. It's a concert album. If you've seen the concert movie, it's a classic. It's fantastic. This record is basically all of their best songs performed live, performed better, in my opinion, than the studio versions. You compare Burning Down the House on the studio version that you probably have heard on the radio to the live version. This version is so much better, so much more just jubilant. And like I said, if you've seen the movie and you've seen David Byrne, who's on your screen right now, he's a weird guy. His dancing, his everything. He did the Roblox suit before Drake did. He's a weird guy, but I think Burning Down the House on it is one of my favorite songs. I think every song on it is absolutely fantastic. I listen to this record all the time, but I'm going to open up the floor because I'm interested to hear any thoughts.
Sure. James, go ahead, only because for the sake of time, guys, if we wanted, once we finish this round, we'll each mention the one we were going to talk about as the third, and then talk about somehow our 10th finalist, which was a shared entry. So really quick, James.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So I didn't expect to like it, and I did. It was good. I was so prepared, as you could tell by my opinion on Sean's first album. I already knew we had very different music tastes, so I wasn't anticipating liking it. And whenever I'm just the type of person where if I'm scrolling on Spotify or whatever music platform and I just see an album that says live next to every single one of the songs, I just immediately skip by it because I don't want to listen to the live version. And first of all, this is probably the best sounding live album I've ever heard in my life. And also, yeah, I mean, there's the obvious Burning Down the House, which is like a fantastic song that probably everybody knows or almost everybody knows. And it's just like the big hit. But honestly, it's long enough that I cannot remember off the top of my head, and my notes decided to kill themselves, so they're gone. But I liked a lot of the songs in it. Some of them I could tell they were good. They just like weren't my type of music. So I was just like, okay, yeah, this is good. Like, not for me, but good. But a lot of them, it was great. Like it's a really good album. And I'm glad you showed that not every single live album is bad, at least in my opinion. You proved to me.
Perhaps the James's point is sometimes you have to sit through the rough live albums to find the good live albums. And it becomes a trial and error sort of process. I wasn't expecting, Sean, like my favorite track, listening to the whole thing. Going in, I knew about Talking Heads. I played, it comes up on your playlist like once in a lifetime. Like that shows up where it's just kind of in your zone. So I'm familiar with David Byrne and everything that the guys do. Take to the River on this concert album. I was like, okay, this is a bop. Like I would have been like feeling myself if I was live at that concert. I was like, okay, this gets me in a really good space. And it just sort of thinking like, I don't know if I could tell the difference, like just the sound quality on it, which maybe to me says they cared about the production of the sound, even if they were live on stage. And I don't know, how much credit you give them for that, but it's like, you think these guys then do care about making that sound as seamless and as similar as you could. So, is David Byrne a weird guy? To your point, yes. It's somehow like it's that perfect blend of, I don't know if you call them new wave. Maybe that's probably too blanket a term for Talking Heads, but somehow like they cover so many little different things, and maybe to the theme of experimental we've talked about today. Again, like the hit, even the hits themselves, but they weren't conventional pop or rock hits by any stretch of the imagination. So it's like you're going through the fact, reminding yourself, all of these are their best songs or their favorite songs for the fans, but they don't sound like much else, in your top 40 radio perhaps. And it's like, it has that, that new wave, that prog rock, that, that kind of sound. And it's just sort of like, it got me thinking of like, I guess these guys were not afraid to take creative swings either. So just sort of helped me get a new appreciation for them. This kind of album, you might have sold me on like playing it in a loop. It's just like, okay, this is a live album I would want to listen to again.
Yeah, and to your point, they were New York art school grads, and there was a whole like late 70s kind of underground of that with the bands like Television, which not a lot of people know, but their stuff's great too. It is very experimental. Take Me to the River is a cover of an Al Green song, which is strange for this group that's basically kind of like experimental rock to cover that sort of thing.
Somehow they made it work. Like that was like, I thought it was like, they made it sound really good to me. So,
and there's, like I said, so many Life During Wartime, Girlfriend Is Better, Making Flippy Floppy. There's so many songs that never saw radio play, but they're just so good. And like you said, it just goes to prove live albums aren't necessarily bad albums, which I think is a kind of maybe 10% of the time they're good. I would agree. I skip lives all the time. Even David Bowie, his live albums, I don't like them. I just don't. But somehow this one's better than their studio albums.
Yeah.
So we're gonna wrap it up because we've been going almost 50 minutes. Let's go around the last record. We'll just quickly explain our last record and then the one that we all agree on before we get out of here. James, would you like to?
Oh, you want me to start? Okay.
You might as well start.
So I want to talk about this and more of its type in the future, but Yeezus by Kanye, which is certainly an album, is so. Honestly, I'm just going to go quick with it. So many of the songs were just so instrumental in my like late high school, early college, just figuring out what I like. Like, I feel like so many times when you're younger and your music taste is just like whatever your parents listen to because that's all you're really exposed to. And then once you start like branching out, this was the first thing where my parents hated it. And I was like, you know what? No, this is something that I love. This is for me. And I felt like it was made for me because it's so fast paced. And a lot of, I feel like a lot of the reason why the genres of music that you guys listen to more, that even a lot of the biggest hits I'll like, but I won't listen to the rest of it, is because just the way my brain works, I need things to be fast paced, just like going fast all the time. And man, Kanye he's going, and he doesn't care about anybody else, and he's just going to say whatever he thinks, and it only makes sense about 5% of the time. And honestly, that 5% is probably my least favorite percent of it, because I just like when he's just going absolutely crazy, at least in songs, in music. But yeah, no, it's so instrumental to my overall music taste. Yeezus was a discovery album for me. It changed the way that I listen to music.
And I think we want to save that for the next episode.
Oh, yeah.
Jose and myself definitely have questions about it. And I think that it'd be a very good discussion.
That's going to be such a long conversation. We'll save it
I'm excited.
The next time.
We'll talk about that next time. Jose, what's your
really quick? 3? And this might sound like a not serious answer, but I only want to throw that out there for the folks tuning in, just to revisit it for this reason. Okay. We know Thriller, like, that's not some underground album. It's Michael Jackson's biggest record ever. The point I wanted to make, and we can talk about this too later with you guys. I want to get into this theme of how second halves of albums are stronger, because in the first half you started with "Wanna Be Starting Something," and Thriller was the bookend of the first half. So you're thinking, how could that possibly not be the strongest half of this album? Like, and then there's that duet he did with Paul McCartney. You flip the record over, guys. It's what? Beat It. What else is in there? Baby Be Mine. What else is in there? Human Nature, PYT. Like, are you kidding me? Like, those are songs that like just hit the respective tops of their own charts and like whenever those were singles. And it's just like, and the fact that, I think Michael Jackson, like, he knew coming in at that time there was such an anti-disco sentiment in pop music, and somehow he still picks and chooses his moments in the record. Like, you'd argue, there's, Baby Be Mine for sure is the most disco oriented of the records. But then he knows, like, he branches out to an audience with Eddie Van Halen and Beat It. Like, somehow you get glam metal in there, which shows he's not afraid to take a risk. R&B and Lady Be Mine. There's the funk of Wanna Be Starting Something. So it's just the fact that, like, how is it that he managed to, like, just put in, hit after hit? Like, Sean, we've had this conversation. We can have another time too. It's like, how often do albums have maybe 2, maybe 3 really strong songs? Somehow this album has 6, 7 really strong songs. And there's a reason why you might argue it's one of the best-selling albums of all time. So for no other reason than just to rediscover, like, how strong of an album it is and, like, all the different influences he threw in there, I think it'd be worth for folks to just sit there and play the whole thing from beginning to end.
Yeah, and just real quick, those 3 songs: Thriller, Beat It, Billie Jean. Those 3. When we were talking about Police.
How did I forget Billie Jean? How did I forget Billie Jean?
You have one after the other in the middle of the album, just hit after hit after hit. Like, that's probably the trilogy of pop songs from the 80s, like the big one. The Girl Is Mine too, by the way. I think the song number 2 with Paul McCartney. That one's underrated. Very Al Jarreau, Grover Washington kind of style song. Very, very great song. Underrated on an otherwise, like, you can't say underrated about Thriller. It's Thriller. Underrated though. My last pick was, I don't even know if this is underrated. It's kind of different. The Comet Is Coming. Their 2019 album, Trust in the Life Force of the Deep Mystery. I discovered this on a Tiny Desk concert from NPR. It's 3 guys making all this music, all this noise. It's kind of like cosmic jazz. I wanted to put a jazz album on here, but I didn't want to put Miles Davis, and I didn't want to be the sappy guy who puts a Dave Koz album on here. But this kind of speaks to, like, where jazz is going, and I really, really, really like it, even though it kind of can seem like it's just a lot of insane noise. I wrote down Blood of the Past, where they start doing, like, beat poetry, basically, is such a great song to me. And that poetry is so interesting. It's just such a weird album. And like I said, it kind of shows the direction some jazz is going with Kamasi Washington and that sort of thing. And the fact that 3 people can make this much noise is just absolutely amazing to me. And if you haven't, I'd say watch the Tiny Desk concert, because wow, these guys can play.
I really like Super Zodiac and Universe in the album. Just so you knew, if we have this conversation later, it's just like, I somehow acid jazz, like, I find a nice niche in that personally too. So this was, the thing. It's instrumental, and it's, it leans into this. It's like, it's fun. Like, this is the kind of stuff where, like, you don't know where it's going to take you, and without the words, I think you have to pay closer attention. So I enjoyed that.
I'm sure James hated it.
Oh, it wasn't for me, but that's okay. It was another one of those. I could tell it was good. I'm listening to it. I'm like, I know this is good. It's like when you're watching, like, if someone, I don't know if they hate horror movies, but they're like, well, this is good. I can tell it's good, but it's just not for me.
Okay. Well, should we announce our mutual? Who wants to announce it?
Somehow all 3 of us overlapped on this record, and the chances of that, I feel like, are so slim. So okay. So I'll introduce it this way, guys. When did you all first hear "The Stranger" by Billy Joel? We'll play up the video.
Yeah, my parents played it for me because it was their favorite, and it quickly became one of my favorites.
My dad really liked Billy Joel. My mom didn't. I've heard most of these songs on the radio, but it wasn't until probably 2 or 3 years ago I heard the whole album front to back.
I had heard a couple of the singles on the album, guys, but then like maybe it was like 2-3 weeks ago, I got a record player for a gift, and I just found the vinyl of this somewhere. Like I was trying to start my collection, and I was like, wait a minute, I didn't know these songs were on this album, so I just bought it, and then I gave it a look, and I was like, this is such a well-rounded album. Like beyond just the singles that they put out on the radio. So it's just like, and then like you think Billy's been around for ages, and just thinking like this is a really strong album. Like from beginning to end, it's just like it's different. It goes into like the super theatrical to the, you know, just stripped down as simple as you can get on a piano. So it's just like I find it, I don't know how underappreciated or underrated some people think it is. I think it's underrated for sure.
I think parts of it are. Anthony's song is like the best song, maybe the best song on the, I don't know. It's such a great start to the album. Then you have The Stranger, which is the underrated. Somehow the title song is the underrated song on here. You have Scenes from an Italian Restaurant, which is basically Piano Man Part 2. It's great. And it ends on Everybody Has a Dream, which is a ballad, which is like the perfect way to end an album, is just that kind of like cheesy ballad song. But it's a great cheesy ballad song because it's Billy Joel.
Yeah,
it works.
Yeah, it for me, I think it's one of the only albums that I've seen where I think every song on here, if you just insert like average popularity artist, it would be the most popular song easily, but so many of them, they're just forgotten because there's some of the greatest songs of all time and multiple of them in one album. So it's so easy to be like, oh yeah, that's right, I completely forgot this song existed. This other one, it's like Vienna, I love, but I forget about constantly because there's She's Always a Woman and Moving Out and like all that. It's the
pop radio hits overshadowed the ones that somehow didn't get the airplay, and that might tell you it's just like they had to make a choice of which songs they were going to play over the air, and then the rest just get left by the wayside. And it's like, no. Give those a listen.
Oh, yeah.
They're so worth it.
Oh, yeah. I totally agree.
Well, this was slated to be a half-hour podcasty live show. It went for an hour. We probably could have gone for 2 or 3.
Probably.
But hey, it was a lot of fun. Appreciate you guys joining me. I'm usually on here every Monday, but we should do this again. I think this should be a monthly show.
I would love to. Thank you for having me on.
Okay, well,
this was fun, guys.
I'm Sean Newgent.
I'm James Parisi.
And I'm José Zozaya. I think this does it for this iteration of Warp Zone, right?
Yeah, and we'll be back next Monday for more.
Bye.